Hello everyone, I am Bethany from Just Thrift It, and as many of you guys probably already know, but I just recently quit my job to sell on eBay full time, which I'm super excited about. I quit, my last day was November 15th, so I guess it's been like a week and a half now, and it's been a really good last few days. I had a good first week. My numbers were good, the items I sold were good, so I'm really excited about the future. But I'm still learning to get into a system and a schedule and how many things I need to be listing per day and all that fun stuff. But I have had a bunch of my Instagram followers ask me questions as to when I first started thrifting, when I first started reselling. Just kind of, I guess, a little bit about me, an introductory. So I wanted to make this video to answer those questions, to let you guys get to know me a little bit more. So let's see, I am 25. I am from St. Louis, Missouri, but I moved to Denver, Colorado this past March. I got into thrifting and reselling both in college. This was like 6 years ago. My roommate and I at the time were really bored one semester, and we decided we had some friends who thrifted and sold on eBay, so we kind of stole the idea from them, and I went to a really small school in Southwest Missouri, and I'm not going to say the town that my college was in because I think it's a made-up town. I can't confirm nor deny that, but I don't know if it's real. I'm just kidding. It's called Bolivar, Missouri, so if you've heard about it, then please let me know because it would make me happy. Side note, I met this girl out here. I'm just going to tell you whatever's on my mind. I met this girl out here from Springfield, Missouri, and I was like, so my college town is right outside Springfield, Missouri, if you're familiar with that area. And literally the first thing I said was, "Oh my gosh, you know what Bolivar is?" And she was like, "Yes." So it's very rare for people to know where Bolivar is, what Bolivar is. But that was my college town. And I'm truly not even sure what we did for fun there. So maybe this is why I started thrifting and reselling a lot in college, because we were bored. But anyways, back to my story. My roommate and I started thrifting, reselling. Usually every Saturday we'd wake up early and drive into like 30 minutes into Springfield. We'd go shopping all day, and then we'd list stuff on eBay throughout the week. It was never anything big. I mean, I don't even remember how much we made, probably a couple $100 like every few weeks or so. It was just enough to like pay for groceries and to be our fun money and stuff. So I remember the very first thing that we found was this, it was a $4 North Face, like zip-up fleece jacket, and it ended up selling for $98, and I think we put it on like 7-day auction starting at like 99 cents or something, and I was like, what in the world? Like, that was the easiest way to make $94. Good math, Bethany, thanks. And I mean, from that moment on, I was hooked. But obviously you're in college, you're busy hanging out with friends and studying and going to class and stuff, so we did it very limited, but it was fun. It was a good hobby to have, and it was an easy way to make extra money. And I remember just always, like, in between classes, like, logging onto the computer. This was before I had internet on my phone. I feel so old. But, we'd check eBay in between class and be like, oh my gosh, we got a bid on this or whatever. And it was just really exciting, and it was something that I always look forward to doing. So I did that my junior and senior year of college. And then I graduated, and I moved back home to St. Louis and took a job it was like 10 days after my college graduation. I started working at this small financial firm, and I continued to do thrifting and eBay on the side. Again, it was pretty low-key. It was just kind of like my side hobby. And, I thrifted a lot for myself, too, and then also to sell on eBay. So it was a healthy mix of both. But it was something that I just always look forward to doing. I'd get off work and I'd go hit a thrift store, and then I'd list stuff when I got home. And it was just always really fun for me. And I know people would be like, if someone were to ask, what are you daydreaming about? I would be like, selling things on eBay, obviously, because as a 21-year-old at the time, that's what every 21-year-old is thinking. Super weird, but it's what I always have thought about. I was thrifting on eBay basically ever since then, and up until I moved to Denver, so before March of this year, eBay was always just a side hobby of mine. I think it was something where, yeah, it would be cool if I could do full time, but it was never a realistic option for me at that time of my life. And then I moved to Denver in March, and I remember thrifting out here for the first time and being like, wow, Denver has a lot of really good brands. I think I found a ton of Anthropologie and Free People and Lululemon, my first few times that I went thrifting. And I'm like, wow, I found a lot of stuff in such a short period of time. Because in St. Louis, I could go, if I went thrifting all day on Saturday and Sunday, maybe I would find one Anthro piece, but probably not. In Denver, I found it in a matter of, an hour or two. So I just noticed out here that I was finding a lot of high quality items for really good prices, and I started to be making more money out here on eBay as my little side hobby. It was then that I really questioned, I wonder if I could do this full time. And that was also the same time that I kind of got more involved in my Instagram account. I'm friends with a lot of full-time resellers on there. And I started reaching out to some of them and asking them questions, just what it looks like for them to sell full-time and, what their schedule is like and is it worth it, is it not, pros and cons of everything. And so ever since March, I've really had this idea in my head that, I think I can do this and I want to do this. The last 6 months working at this financial firm, when I moved out to Denver, I got to keep the job that I had in St. Louis. So I had been working at this financial firm for 4.5 years. I used to love my job, and I used to never, I didn't dread Mondays. I enjoyed going to work, and I enjoyed learning and working with clients and everything. And then that just kind of went downhill when I moved out to Denver, because I started working from home, and so I just missed that work environment, and I just started to slowly lose the desire to work at this company that I was working at. And just over the last 6 months, I wasn't passionate about my job anymore. I dreaded waking up every day and working for this company. And, people ask me, how did you know when it was time? And that's exactly it. I stopped being passionate about what I was doing. That's not fair to the company I worked for. That's not fair to my boss. And I didn't feel like it was right for me to stay if I wasn't giving it my all. And I wasn't giving it 100%. Gosh, I hope my boss doesn't watch this. I'm just kidding. He knows. So yeah, I actually told my company back in August that I was going to be quitting come year end. And they ended up finding my replacement in October. And so from October till my last day, November 15th, I was basically just training my replacement. And, I pretty much just threw all of my workload on him and then just walked him through everything, how to do it. And it was just, I kind of had to put my eBay business on the back burner at that time, because I was training this guy, my replacement, from 8 to 5 every day. And then at night, I was logging in and doing, catching up on my own stuff just to make sure things don't get, fall through the cracks. So I was working long hours. I was drained. I definitely didn't want to be there anymore. So the last 2 months were really, really rough on me. And I was still thrifting and eBaying some, but not a lot. I had hoped when I quit my job that I'd have 400 things listed so that I could just jump right into being a full-time reseller. But I quit, and I think I had 75 things listed. It was a slow process getting everything up and running after I quit. But yeah, that being said, my last day was November 15th, and I cannot describe just all this weight was lifted off my shoulders on my last day. And I cried my last day, because you're just so emotionally drained that then you cry. And I was just so excited to be selling on eBay full time. This is something that I have dreamed of for so long, and I truly cannot believe that this is something that I get to pursue. I still feel right now like it's a hobby, but I am taking it more seriously than a hobby because I realize like this is my sole source of income. So yeah, that being said, my first week I brought in like $2,000. That was before expenses. I think I spent about $550 in inventory, so I made about $1,500 after expenses, which that's a good number for me to be at. That's a healthy spot, and I can pay my bills. And my first week, and I know it's hard because we're around the holidays too now, but I think I worked about 5 days. I still want time off. I still want to enjoy, it's ski season here, so I definitely want to enjoy that and hang out with friends and stuff. So I don't want to just be selling on eBay 24/7. Like, I want to have a life outside of work now. So I'm still kind of figuring out that balance and that system between just a healthy work and personal life. And I don't think it'll be a problem. I think, I know that eBay is how I make, is my salary now. But I also know that in order to give it my all, I have to have days off to just refresh and re-energize myself. So I'll be working on, I think, just a better system. I kind of do want to keep it like an 8 to 5 as much as I can. We'll see how it goes. I have no idea. But a lot of people have also asked me questions as far as like health insurance and retirement savings and all of that stuff. So to answer those questions, they're pretty simple. When I knew I was quitting my job, I got in touch with a health insurance broker, and he basically shopped out all these different policies for me. And I'm really excited about what I have locked in force now. And it's actually better coverage than what I had at my employer. So I'm really happy about it. It was really easy. I feel like it scares a lot of people to quit their job and to not know what they're going to do about health insurance. And rightfully so, I don't blame you. But don't let the fear stop you from doing something if this is what you feel like you're called to do. The next thing is retirement funding. So I'm a person who, at my old job, literally checked my retirement accounts every day because I'm psycho. But saving for retirement is something that's so important to me. So I opened up like an individual 401k, and I started funding that like 2 weeks ago. So do whatever you guys feel like you need to do. But for me personally, I knew that saving for retirement was something that I didn't want to not do. So that was like a top priority for me. And, if there's ever a slow month on eBay where I don't make enough to put any extra in a retirement account, then I'll skip funding it that month. It's fine. It's part of this process, and I'm okay with that. But for the most part, I think I'll be okay to get that funded. I'll just fund it with whatever I can. But, yeah, don't be scared just because you don't know the answers, because that's how I was at first, but I'm over it now. And then I save everything that I make on eBay. I save a certain percentage into, I have like this tax bank account, so I save a certain percentage of all my funds in there, or all my profits. And then come wonderful tax time, I'll write a check from that account to pay whatever I owe Uncle Sam, which I'm dreading that, but hopefully it'll be okay. And then I'm trying to think what else. I have like 200 messages on Instagram from some of my followers, and I haven't had time to answer like 100% of them. But basically everyone is asking the same type of questions. I'm like, oh, I can answer that in this YouTube video and direct them to this, instead of sitting there and answering every question one by one. So hopefully this helps. And then I'll kind of go into like how I run my eBay store and what it looks like for me, how I do my inventory, how I ship, how I list, all that stuff. So I actually list everything from this beautiful phone. I don't know, iPhone 6. So I have tried listing on a computer, and I'm super slow at it. I'm way more efficient on an iPhone. So I take pictures on this, and then I sit there and I'll post it on eBay. It takes me about 3 minutes between pictures and listing to get something up and measured. I'm pretty fast at it because I've been doing it for like 6 years. So yeah, and then I will use a computer to print most of the time. But I did just learn that I can print from this phone, which I'm so bad at technology. So I was just like, wow. So there's that. I currently have, let's see how many things I have listed right now. I don't have a lot. I'm trying to get more, but I have 250 things listed right now, which isn't a lot as a full-time seller. However, I have been selling a ton. I like things leaving my store every single day. It doesn't always work, but I want like at least 20 things being sold every day. And so that being said, it's hard to keep up with like a high number of things listed when I'm selling a lot of things every day. But I think right now I want to be anywhere between 300 to 400 on how many things I have listed on my eBay store. So hopefully over the next week I'll get that number up. But I mean, at 250, I made $2,000 my first week. So it's not really been an issue of I need to be making more money because I feel like I did fine my first week. It's more of just like I need to make sure I'm maintaining that number and the correct amount of inventory that I need to have. So how I keep my inventory is pretty simple and organized. I know a lot of full-time resellers use the bin system where they write on a bin whatever the item is, type of items like pants or shorts, and throw it in a bin. I don't do that. I hang everything in a closet. So it's organized by like tank tops, short sleeve shirts, long sleeve shirts, sweatshirts, dresses, like that type of stuff. So when something sells, I know what section of the closet it's in. And then, like all my pants and shorts that can't be hung up, I just have them in this Tupperware bin thing. So that's what works best for me. I have a spare bedroom, so it's pretty easy to have just like a dedicated room for all my eBay crap. And I have yet to not be able to find something because of an unorganized system. I think things are pretty clear and easy to find. So until, I don't know, if I ever grow so much that I have like 1,000 things in my inventory, then I'd probably have to get a different system. But I don't have a desire to have that much in my store because when I buy something at a Goodwill or thrift store or whatever, I don't want to hold it for more than a month. Like a month is my max. So that being said, I just have so much coming in and I have so much going out that I'm okay to only have 300 to 400 things listed. I don't feel like I need 1,000 things. Maybe that'll change in the future. Maybe it won't. I don't really know. It's funny because before I quit my job to sell on eBay, I think that I struggled with what people would think of me. And I'm completely over it now because I'm so proud of myself on how far I've come. And I love the fact that selling on eBay is my full-time job. People think I'm joking. And I'm like, no, I'm serious. People now are like, where do you work? And I'm like, oh, I sell used bras on eBay. And they don't know how to respond to that. And I usually am just really sarcastic and joking around a lot. But I'm like, oh, I'm a full-time reseller. And they're like, oh, what do you sell? And I'm like, well, I go to thrift stores. And then I sell clothes on eBay. And they're just processing that if I'm being serious or not. But it's something that I feel like I'm so unique in what I do compared to everyone else that people are so intrigued by it and want to ask questions, and then they want to know how they can get to where I am, which is just really cool because I worked for 6 years on getting to this point, I feel like. So it's encouraging that people are, I guess, impressed with my ability and all of your guys' abilities to do this full time, that we can do this as a full-time job and not just as a hobby. So it's been a good 2 weeks. It's been fun. I've loved it. And it doesn't even feel real. Like I said in one of my Instagram posts that I feel like I'm a 7-year-old waking up in Disneyland every day. And that's so true. Every day I wake up and I'm like, I don't have to go to my corporate America job. And it's I get to wake up and I get to go thrifting, which is my favorite thing to do. And it's seriously unbelievable, and I love it, and I'm so thankful for this opportunity. A lot of people ask me, oh, is this, selling on eBay your full-time career or your long-term career? And to answer that, I don't know. I've promised myself that I will dedicate the next 12 months to doing this full time, to seeing how much money I can make, and we'll see how it goes. If I wouldn't have quit my job now, I would have always wondered if I could have done this. So I'm jumping into this, not blindsidedly, but I'm jumping into this having no idea what the future holds with working on eBay full time. But yeah, I'm gonna work hard the next year and see how it goes, and maybe I'll continue to do it for the rest of my life, and maybe I'll just do it for a year, and maybe I'll miss a desk job. I have no idea, but I am excited. Nothing is holding me back from doing this, and yeah, I'm just really thankful for this next season of life. I do have some trips planned that I will be hitting some thrift stores. I guess they're thrifting trips / sightseeing trips. We'll see how they go. But I do want to make it to the West Coast next spring is what I'm planning. There's some places that I want to visit just as a tourist and sightseeing and stuff. And then I know several of my Instagram people that I follow live out in the West Coast and are always talking about all the things they find. So I think it'd be cool to just like thrift up in that area to see how it's different, how it's similar to what I thrift out here. But one more thing, and then I'll kind of finish up. This is my first video, so hopefully this goes well. I would love your feedback. I hope you don't have high expectations for this, because I'm hoping that this is even recording right now. I have no idea. But anyways, one last thing. So, fun fact about me, every time I go thrifting, I ask the person checking me out if I can have 50% off my total. And not every time, 99% of the time, they're like, no. Well, the other day I was thrifting at my honey hole, which is freaking awesome. And I was about to spend like $300, and I was like, did you say I could have 50% off my total? And the guy's like just looked at me like irritated. He's like, no. And I was like, did you only say 40%? And then he started laughing, and he goes, no, but you can have the senior discount of 20%. Okay, done. So yeah, it was awesome. I saved money, and it never hurts to ask. And then the other day I was at Savers, and they have those like 30% off coupons for every, I don't know, $10 you spend, you get a stamp or whatever. And I was checking out, and I didn't have one of those. I rarely go to Savers if I don't have a coupon. But I think I was just I'd gone all my normal thrift stores, so I was just branching out type of thing. And the lady was like, oh, do you have any coupons for us today? And I was like, no, but do you have any for me? And she opens her drawer and pulls out a 30% off coupon. And I was like, okay, I love you. It was like this old lady. We were talking about her cats. I hate cats. But I will love cats for a 30% off coupon. And it works. So that being said, do whatever you want to do. But for me, it never hurts to ask. And worst case, they say no. And then you buy your stuff and you drive home and you don't see them again. I think that's everything. I just kind of wanted this to be a short, sweet, simple video of you guys just getting to know me better, I guess. Hopefully you guys know who I am now. If you don't follow me already on Instagram, make sure you do at Just Thrift It. And if you want to know my eBay name, if you want to shop, you can continue to private message me, and I will respond to you that way. I don't necessarily put my eBay name out there for all of my thousands of followers to see, only because I don't know, if they're going to just be trying to copy my eBay or if they're going to shop. So if you're going to shop, I don't have an issue with it at all. I just am kind of protective right now over it because I don't want, obviously there's stats and numbers that are involved on eBay, and now that I'm a full-time seller, I'm kind of protective over that. But I usually can sense if someone's writing me, I'm okay to give it out, because I want you guys to shop too. If I find something that you want to purchase, then I am happy to give you my store name. But anyways, I think that's everything. I would love your feedback on this video, and if there's anything in the future that you want me to talk about or go over, let me know if you guys want live hauls, if you want me to take you guys thrifting with me on a little video, or if you want me to just continue to sit out on my back porch and film myself talking about who knows what. So, okay, bye guys. Have a good day.